And Sam, when you go back to like your freshman year, Nebraska hadn't beaten Creighton in a long time. Now coming into this season, you guys won 2 of the last 3. How much has the success you guys have had in this rivalry changed the approach from your first experience with it to now?
Yeah, I mean, obviously my first year, that team wasn't very successful, and I think we went into a lot of games not thinking we were going to win. At least that's kind of how I felt that year, and we didn't win a lot of games, and that was a big problem. And we've really changed that culture, as we've talked about so many times, that we go into every game expecting to win, especially games at PBA. We want to protect home court. So, yeah, not necessarily a Creighton thing, but every single game now we're going to try to win, and we think we should win, especially here.
You guys have a lot of players that have played in this rivalry at some point. Do you need to like hammer it home as much compared to maybe previous rosters with a bunch of new guys that have never experienced Nebraska Creighton, or is it kind of an understood thing?
I think it's pretty well understood. You get a lot of feel from that from the fans before you even play that game. You get random fans telling you, hey, you got to beat Creighton this year. So I think everyone is pretty well enamored and knows that it's a big rivalry. But like I said, it's just another game. You got to prepare the same way and not make it more than what it is, so you can be ready the same way.
How do you center yourself for a game and kind of block those things out and not make it more than it is?
Yeah, I mean, I think just to approach it like it's another game, right? We've played however many, and we have many more to come. So just to keep our preparation the same level, and yeah, just continue to lean on each other. We don't have to do anything special. We don't have to go outside of what we've done this year, but just continue to play Nebraska basketball. That's what we're going to do.
You guys have both been here for a while. Do you have a favorite memory of the Nebraska Creighton series your time here?
Last year's game was pretty fun, shutting them down at their place. But I have great memories from that win a couple years ago with Sammy G and D-Walk playing really well. That was a lot of fun to see, especially Sam get that win his last year of college. That was a pretty cool moment.
For either one of you, what stands out about Creighton just through the game tape?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're extremely talented. They brought in it's a new group, and they're just continuing to play better and better every single game. So we know that this weekend is going to be huge, and both teams are going to be playing at a high level. So to continue just to prepare and to figure out kind of how they're going to attack us, that's been our goal. But yeah, they're extremely talented, and they're just getting better and better as a group. So
Getting off to faster starts, it's something we've been hammering home for a while now, but especially with a sold-out crowd, with the rivalry aspect of it, how critical it is to take advantage of the atmosphere that is probably pretty electric.
Yeah, I mean, every single game you want to come out with a hot start, and something we talk about and haven't been doing a great job of lately. So that's been a big emphasis. But yeah, I mean, you want to get the crowd into it early. You look at last year when we went there and kind of took their crowd out of it. It made it much easier to hold that lead. And there were still crowd pops. They made some runs, and I think most of the time it's within your team is how you control that. But yeah, I mean, you really want to get that crowd into it early and get the energy going, and it really does help.
You guys are already familiar with the Iowa players that transferred in there, but how much extra is Pryce just helping in that regard and inside tidbits or whatever for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to have a guy who, has some inside information, I guess, but I think we do a great job preparing, knowing the tendencies of players and all of that. So he's definitely helped a bit, but it's not like it's that much of a difference from what you'd see in a normal scout.
Cale, you playing, I guess, against your best friend again.
Yeah.
What's the conversation been like with Isaac?
they definitely go down a little bit this week. Yeah, but it's been cool. Obviously, with his fiance playing volleyball and Bergen playing, we get to talk about other things. But our basketball conversations drop a little bit throughout the week. But super excited to see him, to play against him. Him and Jason both, we played together. And yeah, just to see those guys again is always fun.
What do you think the benefits were of having 8 days off? Any benefits or drawbacks of the gap between the last game and this one?
I think the main thing is just getting your body right. We went through a pretty brutal stretch there, playing a lot of games early. And for me personally, it was getting my body to feel better. I was pretty beat up after those last few games. And that's huge, just to get your legs fresh again. And you have a lot of time to prepare. You don't want to over-prep for teams, and then you can kind of be burnt out by the time you get to game, which I think we've done a good job of. But, yeah, a lot of it is getting your body right.
Seems obvious, but how different is Creighton to prepare for on both ends of the floor without Ryan Kalkbrenner? You haven't had to do that for a while now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously what he did, he added a lot of different things to what they can do. But kind of like we said earlier, like this group is different and they're talented and they just keep getting better and better and better. So it looks different without Kalkbrenner, but they still have their own things that they really are really good at.
Cale, what was your impression of this game growing up, being a guy from Nebraska? What was your perception of Nebraska Creighton?
Yeah, I mean, it was always must-see TV. Like, that was a game that if we weren't at, our whole family was sitting around the couch watching. So it was always a huge game. Like, we loved to just be a part and to watch the rivalry. Yeah, I've watched a million Nebraska Creighton games, so.
Anything else for players? Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.